Hi, I'm Robin,
I'm Yuri.
and in this video we will explain as much as we can about airplanes. We're going to explain how a plane works and we will tell you a bit of history, but we'll mainly focus on airplane safety features. So, let's start with the first powered flight. The first plane with an engine was the Wright Flyer. On December 17, 1903, Wilbur and Orville Wright made 4 brief flights at Kitty Hawk with their first powered aircraft. The brothers had invented the first successful airplane ever.
In the beginning of the 20th century, aircrafts were unique flight machines which were made for just a few persons. Since then, airplanes became larger and larger. On April 27, 2005, the first Airbus A380 took off. This is the largest jet airliner ever made. The plane can bring up to 850 persons to their destination per flight when the plane is completely set up in economy class. Nowadays there are about 6,000 planes in the air at any time. Flying is very important nowadays. 3.77 billion passengers are transported by plane in 2016. People use planes to cross long distances, either for work or holiday. Planes are also used for cargo. Cargo planes are mostly used for unpreservable goods like vegetables and fruits. There's a lot more security at airports since the disaster of 9/11. Everyone on board is checked. A feature to keep the thieves out of the cockpit is the cockpit door, which is unbreakable. It's even bulletproof. Therefore it costs over $10,000. But safety first, of course.
So, how does a plane work?
Well, a plane accelerates on the runway with its engines. Most aircrafts have 2 or 4 of them. At a speed between 250 to 475 km an hour, this depends on the type of aircraft, the plane takes off. This is possible because of the shape of the wings. The wings are made in this shape. Because of this special shape, there will be more pressure underneath the wing than on top of the wing. During landing and takeoff, the pilots will put down the so-called flaps, which you can see over here. The flaps generate more under-wing pressure. The lower the speed, the more lift the wings need to generate. So the flaps are only used when the speed is low. Otherwise, the rounded construction of the wing itself is enough to keep the plane in the air. During the flight there are 4 forces that work on the plane. The first one is of course gravity. The second one is drag. The third one is the force which is powered by the engines. And the last one is the lift which is generated by the wings.
3 seconds from disaster. The Russian crew have spotted the DHL plane. They pull up, but it's too late.
Descend hard, descend!
At 11:35 p.m., the planes collide 35,000 feet above the city of Überlingen, Germany. All 71 people on board the 2 planes die.
One of the many safety features a plane has is the Traffic Alert and Collision Avoidance System, or TCAS for short. This system is made to avoid mid-air collisions like the one you've just seen. TCAS uses a transponder that searches for other transponders on planes within a 20 to 40 mile radius. The transponders will then transfer data like height, speed and the heading. The pilots are warned if there will be too little space between the planes. The type of warning differs between the different TCAS types. TCAS 1 will warn the pilots by giving them the distance, height and the possible course of the other plane. The pilot then decides how to avoid the collision. However, the other type, TCAS 2, will first warn the pilots with a voice saying traffic, traffic. And if the planes get closer to each other, a voice will say descend, descend in one plane and climb, climb in the other plane, depending on their distance and altitude. The pilots have to decide quickly because they have about 30 seconds to avoid the collision.
Traffic, traffic.
Climb, climb now. Climb, climb now. Climb, crossing, climb. Climb, crossing, climb. Climb, climb. Descend, 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 crossing, descend. Descend, crossing, descend. Descend, descend now. Descend, descend now. Clear of conflict.
There is a new version in development, TCAS 3, that will also tell the pilots to go left or right.
Another invention is the special seat construction in an airplane. You might not have noticed, but the legs of the airplane seats are always rounded or edged. Back in the days when the legs of the chairs were just straight, they broke off during a crash. Despite the seat belts, many people died when a plane slammed into the ground. The new rounded construction absorbs the impact.
Another small precaution is a little knob attached to the back of the seats near an emergency exit. It is supposed to keep the tray tables closed in case of an emergency. When the plane needs to be evacuated, passengers have to leave through the emergency exits. It is possible that someone will hit the switch that releases the table and thereby blocking the exit. The knob prevents the switch from turning so the table won't drop. That will save time, and it could be the difference between life and death.
So, Rowan, have you ever wondered why the flight attendant or the pilot dims the cabin lights?
Yeah, why do they do that?
The cabin lights in modern aircrafts are always dimmable. The flight attendant dims the lights during takeoff and landing. This is not to save power for the engines or so what. The lights are dimmed so your eyes can adapt to the darkness or sunlight outside. Takeoff and landing are the most dangerous parts of a flight. In the unlikely situation of an evacuation, you are able to see the surrounding. Imagine you're outside on a sunny day and you go into your pitch black garage. The first moment you can't see anything because your eyes are not adapted to the darkness yet. This works the same in case of an evacuation. When the lights would not be dimmed and you need to evacuate, you can't see anything when you go outside of the plane if it's dark outside. For the same reason, you always need to open your window blinds during the first and last moments of the flight. And have you ever wondered why you're not allowed to listen to music during takeoff and landing?
Yeah, why is that?
This is so you can hear the pilot or the flight attendant when there's something wrong. Imagine if the flight attendant or pilot tells you to brace for impact and you can't hear it because you're listening to the new bloody track of Rubber Shores. So the airplane invented by the brothers Wright, which can fly because of the underwing pressure, grew to a plane that can transport up to 850 passengers. The modern planes are equipped with the newest and best safety features like TCAS that prevents airplanes from crashing into each other in mid-air, or the unbreakable cockpit door that prevents people that shouldn't be in the cockpit from entering it. But the smaller precautions matter as well, like the knob on the seats that prevents tables from blocking the exit, dimmable lights that let your eyes adapt to the darkness, or the special seat construction that absorbs the impact of a crash. All these safety features to minimize the risk of casualties.
This is the captain. Brace for impact.
Thanks for watching and have a nice flight. And so sorry about the Rubber Shores track.